7. 1907, May 30th. Heavy northwest wind with light rain shower first part of 24 hours. Last part of 24 hours, moderate northwest breeze clearing weather. Sea smooth. First assistant whitewashing fences. Had a visitor today. From the lighthouse keeper's logs of the Cape Hope Lighthouse. Wendy. The occupancy of the inn was still relatively low. It was late February, and they had quite a bit of availability. But they'd had 4 rooms booked for the captain's house, 3 couples and 1 man who was by himself, which made for a fairly straightforward breakfast. They had a young couple who had traveled down from Washington. The woman was a nurse, the man an auto body technician, and there was a couple, around Wendy's age, who were bird watchers, and had traveled extensively through the state of Oregon, favoring B&Bs as their place to stay. The breakfast at the inn was famous. 7 courses, local and seasonal fare. Not only was the inn itself historic, and on the list of haunted buildings, but they were also renowned for their food. Then there was another couple in their 60s, both men, former sailors who took every chance they could to be near the sea. And there was the man who was traveling by himself, John. He was from California, all the way up from Encinitas. He was tall and lean, with thick silver hair cut short. He was fairly quiet at breakfast, nodding as she introduced each course, but not joining in with the chatter all that freely. She noticed that he was always looking around the room, seeming to study the details, the pictures on the wall, with deep interest. There were some new photos from World War II that had remained classified until recently, because the locations of lookout points were considered a military secret. Wendy introduced the first course, a fruit salad with a coconut lime sauce, and then went back into the kitchen, where Anna was working on scones. "Looks good," Wendy said, looking over at the batch her daughter had just pulled out of the oven, before making her way to the fridge and taking out the clotted cream, the jam, and the lemon curd. "Thank you," Anna said, sounding out of breath or annoyed. Wendy wasn't sure. "You're welcome. Have you started paperwork for your... Are you going to go ahead with the divorce? Do you really want to discuss my divorce over lemon curd?" For the past month she had been trying to build a bridge between herself and Anna, had been trying to find a way to connect with her. She'd been so oblivious to what was happening with her. It was a stunning realization that she'd lived so near Anna, seen her so often, seen Thomas so often, seen them together, and even then hadn't noticed a rift between them or her own daughter's unhappiness. Maybe you didn't want to see it. If not over lemon curd, then when? "I'll let you know when it's finalized," she sighed. No progress on that front. If you ignore a marriage, will it go away?" Wendy's laugh came out on a breath. Anna was funny, and always had been, no matter her circumstances. "Not in my experience. Shoot. I guess someday I'll have to figure that out then." Anna went back to work on her food, and Wendy let silence reign. They maneuvered around each other with a certain amount of practice. Anna had learned to bake here when she was just a girl, and she had assisted Wendy from the time she was in 5th grade all the way through high school. A few moments later, Anna swept out of the kitchen and collected the dishes, and then grabbed hold of a serving platter with her scones and their fixings, and went back out into the dining room. Wendy could hear her explaining each element before coming back into the kitchen. Wendy was already at work on the peach and rose lassi that would go out next as a palate cleanser, and after that was the slightly more time-sensitive puff pastry and eggs. Wendy whisked the smoothies out, and Anna cleared. The conversation of the guests was light and easy, and that was a source of some relief. You never knew what you were going to get when it came to guests. This group was laughing together and seemed perfectly at ease. John, though, was quiet.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?